Hello, Juan, Tamara, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome, Tamara, that you are not here always like Juan.
Thank
So
you very
let me
much.
introduce you to the people that maybe haven't seen you so much. So Tamara is our strong translator. She's always with us doing the translation at the office, and we try to do this live with care, like 5-10 minutes of translation doubts once a month. So this is your moment. Welcome and thank you
Thank you
for
very much.
sharing questions.
It's always a pleasure to be Wednesday among here. And we've been recalling that some of you have same doubts again and again about sworn translation. And we always have a look into the different groups that you may are part of them, like Spain Guru, American Expats in Madrid, or Expats in Madrid. And for example, we have chosen two different questions that were asked like a year ago or some months ago that mix a lot of questions about sworn translation. I'm going to read them like slowly and trying to answer them. And my colleagues, the lawyers, may add anything because sometimes the question is about the procedures. Okay, so there was a woman, Tara, that asked 1 year ago on Christmas Day 1 year ago if is she says, does anyone have any advice on translating your bank statements? Well, there is no advice. When you need to submit an application and they ask your economical means, you have two different type of documents, either a bank certificate or a bank statement, okay, where they show your like all your movements and the transactions to see where the money comes from, okay. So she says that she didn't see on the consulate website that they have to be translated. Well, as the lawyers can tell you in the consultations and when you are carrying out the procedure, you need to translate them because this is one thing we have been telling you in the previous lives. You have a bank statement or a bank certificate with numbers, but sometimes you need to demonstrate that an address you have you need to show your name, the amount, and sometimes it's not in euros, so the translator also translates the different currency, so the consulate or the administration can know if it's dollars of the USA, dollars in Canada, or whatever currency it is. She always asked if it's 1 year of monthly statements that the translator just summarizes, or if we translate line by line. Depending on what you want, we normally translate 6 months for a non-lucrative visa, right?
Yeah.
And we translate, yes, line by line, okay? So the whole information. Sometimes there are like ads from the bank if you download your bank statements, and we cannot translate that, but normally we just translate line by line all the amounts, all the information that shows your bank statement, okay. She also asks if you need your bank statements notarized. Normally you don't need that because they are not a public document, okay? So once they are translated, they are sworn to be authentic and faithful to the original that you get in your bank, okay? And there was another person asking about documentation for a non-lucrative visa again. This was Willie that asked in this group that once he submitted all the documentation for this visa to the Spanish consulate in Miami at the beginning of the month, wherever, they told them that they didn't need the certificate, the marriage certificate translated, but then they required it. So they had to translate it, and the process took longer. So I know I have told you several times that it's better always to translate documents from the scratch, because sometimes the process takes longer when they require documents, and they always require the marriage or birth certificates translated, because they are not in Spanish. So I don't know why the consulate told, because Willie states that the consulate told him first that the marriage certificate could be in English, but actually not. Okay. And he also asks if it needs to be translated by a sworn or certified translator, which, as we have always told you, yes, because sometimes you may wonder, yeah, but I know both languages, I can translate it. Actually, not, because you need the seal, the stamp of the sworn translator. In Spain, they require a sworn translator duly appointed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So yes, you need a sworn translator that you may find in the list of the ministry or here in our office. Okay, so these are the most common questions that you have, like if you can translate yourselves. No, because they are public documents. They are official documents, and they need to be stamped by a sworn translator. Okay, so this was what I wanted to remind you a little bit, because we see that most of you ask again and again these type of questions about the bank certificates and the marriage certificates. Okay, so
Okay. Thank
this,
you, Tamara.
you're welcome. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, and bye. We will continue.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
as
Bye.
always, we try, because our procedures are always connected with translations, and it's as important. The document to be correct is as important as the translation, because if the consulates don't find that is correctly translated, it's like if you haven't submitted. Okay. So it's very important. That is why we have an in-house sworn translator, because you know that there is a list for from the Ministry of Affairs, because it's people that has passed an special exam from the government in order to be official translator. So Tamara is one of those lists, but I have it in-house in order to be like quicker with our clients. And in any case, if you need a translation, but you don't want the immigration service, you can do it also with us. But Tamara will be more used to all the documents and how they want it. So it's just an advantage. Even if you don't need help in immigration and you just need the translator, we can give you the service, and so you will have it correctly. Juan, how are you? How was your week?
Very good, Ainhoa. This week we have very good resolutions, more than a dozen favorable resolutions. So we are in a
Wow.
very good well track, and we're going to try to keep on that. So many of our clients will get very good Christmas gift by having a residence permit in Spain. So for that, very good news.
I know that we have just seen like half an hour ago cuenta, so one work permit, which we call here cuenta propia, or emprendedor. They are the two ones that you can have your own business of a musician, right? That he's very happy.
Yeah,
I will try to invite him, but let's explain a little for the people a summary of that kind of permit. He was studying here music, right?
that's it. He has been a student for the last 3 years, and he actually was an auxiliar de conversación.
Ah,
Okay,
yes,
he was
exactly.
an auxiliar de conversación, but he also studied music, and he was a teacher of music here in Spain. So because of that, he worked in many productions, like for free, and he wanted to switch to a job because he didn't want to make that just his hobby, but his occupation. So, because that is a very hard permit to get approved in Spain, we work very hard on that. So, remember, any student that has been a student for the last 3 years in Spain can modify to a cuenta propia permit. That means that he can be a freelance. And for that, he needs several documents. For example, a certificate of not having any kind of scholarship from the Spanish government or from your own government, for example.
But don't worry, because even as the auxiliar de conversación programs are called beca, the auxiliar de conversación, are not those kinds of internship, okay? Are internship for the government, different internships. So if you are an auxiliar de conversación, you are okay, don't worry.
That's it. And well, then you have to set up your business plan. And this is the most important part of this kind of plans. So, for example, in this case of this musician, well, he didn't have any clue of how to do it. He was just going to say, well, I'm going to play in some gigs at bars, or I don't know how much. So, what we said is pre-contracts, production contracts, pre-contracts with possible concert plays, a rehearsement contract for a place where he was going to rehearse. So we prepare everything. So he got a very good inform from UPTA, from ATA, stating that his plan was good to go, and it was a very good business plan. And we actually prepared even the presentation of that business plan, so it looked good. Okay, not only just a normal template that everyone uses. No, we worked thoroughly on that business plan, and after 1 month and a half, we got the approval. So it went very good.
And what city was this application? In what city?
In Madrid.
In Madrid. So
Yeah.
it was quick. It was quick to be Madrid.
That's it. I think that it's because it was not as it was kind of unusual business plan, because they are used to see the same kind of projects, and this was something out of the usual. This was unique. So I think that was in favor, and that he got all the pre-contracts with the identifications. The business plan had good numbers, bank certificates. Everything was really really good for him. So I think that was the deal breaker in this case.
We will try to invite him in the next live so he can explain his experience to everyone, and he can inspire the people. I also think that that immigration is going to be aware of the new economy, and also all of these business plans that they were putting problems also of working remotely. Now with the new reality that we are living, I think that maybe they are going to be more flexible, because they need to be aware that now all of us are working remotely, and they see that is perfectly fine. So for all of you that have seen me speaking about problems of working remotely, there are, because here in Spain the freelance visas are tough, and they deny it a lot. They deny them a lot. But I think that now they are going to be aware of that this is also working remotely is also a way of working, is perfectly fine, and they're going to approve it. I cannot guarantee, but we always work very hard on this freelance visa. Is the one that is harder, but is the one that we do the most also. So good vibes, because we are seeing that there are several approvals. So well, for all of you that are thinking about it, let's go. You know that after 3 years, you don't need to wait in order to be at the time of the renewal to do the application. Whenever you have done the 3 years, whenever you want to modify to a freelance visa or a cuenta ajena or an employee permit, you can do it. So we are here to help you if you need it. Juan, anything that we want to
Remind everyone, for example, remind everyone that borders are closed, but that the visa application are still going on the consulate. So if you want to come to Spain, you can still come, but you need to process a visa in case that you are not a resident in any of the countries that belong to that special and limited list that the ministry has issued. But to this day, the borders are closed. So remember, you can get to Spain if you get a visa. Can be a student visa, can be a non-lucrative visa, can be even a high qualified worker visa, any kind of visa. They are right now processing in almost every consulate in the world from Spain. So you can go ahead with that. Don't delay it anymore. And if you want to apply, don't fear the COVID. You can come right now.
Exactly. Remind you also that if you are a family member of a European Union citizen, you can come. Okay, we can help you organizing the file, because it's true that you need to prove everything. It's not as easy as coming without the COVID as a normal tourist. But if we show that you are a family member and that you are coming to live together here, you have the way to come. And the same for the UK citizens that we are in the last weeks until December 31st to do the UK permit, and the family member of a UK citizen. The other day, I have a consultation of a UK citizen that he was living in the US, and he thought that he couldn't do it because he was living in the US, so he couldn't come. And I clarified him that he could and he should. If he wanted to apply for this, he should come here with his wife that was from the US, so a family member, because there is no way that they will allow them to do it after December 31st, because they couldn't come because of COVID, because that is not really true. With COVID, you can come if you are allowed to, and one of the people that are allowed to come are the European Union citizens and their family members if they come to live here. So for those UK citizens, we are in the 2 last weeks. We are here to help you. Don't. I know it's not the most comfortable thing to come with the COVID and everything, but don't think we are going to have more chance. Maybe we have. Maybe in January they decide whatever, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't wait to see if we have that exception. And well, that's all. Okay, Juan, I think we can go through the questions. I think there are several
Yes.
questions. Let's see. Steven Angel says, hello, Despacho Externa team. I began the renewal of my TA in the beginning of July as an auxiliar. Since 31st of July, my status has been en trámite. As for yesterday, my status switched to archivado. Prior to this, I didn't receive any clarification or notification about change of status or missing documents. I haven't received a letter in the email, nor do I have clave or certificado digital, so I'm unable to check my expediente online. I have been searching for a Imposita previa, but those are impossible to find. I've emailed the Office of Extranjería, but I'm afraid they will take way too long to respond. What should be my next step? I hope to avoid having to return to the USA and apply for a new visa. No, okay, let's try to fix it. Juan, what is your recommendation? Digital certificate or what?
Yeah, digital certificate might be the solution, the faster one, and of course, insist to the foreigners office, because for sure, I think that what happened here is that they issued a notification with a requirement, and that you did not answer that requirement, but you did not answer that requirement because you didn't have it, you didn't get it, you missed by post. They issued to a digital certificate that you didn't have. So there is something wrong with the communication between you and the foreigners office. Probably because of them, because they usually make these kind of mistakes. So yes, I will recommend you get a digital certificate or contact us, and we will try as lawyers to get this requirement from the foreigners office as soon as possible. So we have like a direct channel, but they are working really slow. And because of these dates, that is Christmas and New Year and everything, they have a lot of work accumulated. But we can try to sort it out. I recommend you to write them every day until you have a response and get a digital certificate to check what they might be missing from you, because for sure what
But
requires.
one question: if he hasn't applied by digital certificate, he has applied, imagine, by registro, okay? And they have tried to notify him a requerimiento, which is for sure, because that is why it's archivado. When they have a digital certificate, there is no way to then to get that requirement, or yes?
I think that they may have it, that he may have
Okay.
it under his carpeta ciudadana as a missing notification, because he's
Ah,
able to check what the missing communication from the administration he had, but
okay.
sometimes they miss it too, so it's not for sure, but it should be one of the solutions.
Okay, okay. So yes, one option is digital certificate in order to see if there is the requerimiento in the carpeta ciudadana, and the other solution, or at the same time, you can count on us, and because we have an special email as lawyers, which is not the perfect email. They also take time to answer, but well, we have a special email in order to fix things like that have problems and all that. So we can help you with the digital certificate and also to write at the same time to immigration. Good luck in any case. Remember, if time passes and passes, because the archivo, you have a month just to appeal for the archivo. If it passed more time, what I would do in the appeal is show that you were trying to contact immigration and it was impossible, okay? Because it's true that now it's been very difficult to get in contact with immigration. So
That's
good
it.
luck. Okay, thank you, Raquel. Jessica Dillo. Hi, Esther. I'm in the exact same situation as Steven, and I'm curious as to what advice you all have for next step and how to apply for the recurso to have the extranjería review the application file. Thanks. So yes, so what that is the advice. So what will happen is that you have an archivado, okay? And as I told, there is a month to do the appeal, so they desarchivar, so they continue with the procedure, okay? So you need to do an appeal in which you say that you were not notified or the problem that was, and then at the same time, if you know what is missing, to submit whatever was missing. There is a month to do this kind of appeal, and then they will continue. They don't have an exact time to resume the procedure. But in any case, if it's in tramite, you are okay, remember. So the most important thing is doing that appeal. You know that we do it on your behalf and we do it telematic. And if there is any other problem, also we can go to the court, but the court is always the second option. So good luck. Okay, Anna then says, I need some help with the renewal of my residency for studies, research through the online platform Mercurio. I'm not sure what option I'm supposed to choose on one of the steps, attach screen. The first one, presentar renovación, or the second one, presentar nueva solicitud. I don't know if here is the what she the image, but it's sure that it's renovación if it's a renovación, right, Juan?
Exactly. You have to fill out the details of your expiration dates and your NIA number, and the system will detect your renewal file, because there is a pre-file charged into the system. So they, once you put on your full NIE, your date of validity and everything, it should match. If it's not registered, then you may need to do it by another kind of registry that is SARA. But of course, you can always count on us, lawyers, to do this renewal for you. Okay, if it's not in Mercurio and you have to do it by SARA, for example, or an internal register, why not try to to get us to do it for you. We can help you. We can review every document that you have. We will get the notification from the application. We will get everything for you. But yes, if it's not in Mercurio as a renewal, then you will have to go to another registry that is called SARA. But this has lots of limitations. It will have 10 megabytes per file. You can only upload 5 files. And if you only have 5 minutes to upload everything. So it's kind of a very complex platform to use. So, and let's continue to read. I tried selecting the first one, but then I got the screen where I have to enter my data. But the system states that they have no data match regarding my information. That's very usual. Also, I should note that my residence expired this week and that my initial residence was studying a master, which I completed this year, while right now I am applying for a residence tied to a PhD program. Hey, this is very good.
Ah,
So
yes.
you may not even need to renew, maybe, or maybe you can renew just to be sure that you will get the student permit. But once you have that on tramite or processing, as you are going to be studying a PhD, you can apply for a researcher permit.
It's
There is
much
a residence
better.
permit. That it's a residence permit. That means that you are no longer a student. That will count towards getting another residence permit, a residence permit to work, for example, in 1 year. It will count towards nationality too, towards larga duración European Union in case you want to apply then for a residence permit. And this goes to the big companies unit, the Unidad de Grandes Empresas, which means that it will go electronically and that will have to be solved within 20 working days. So maybe make a consultation with us. Maybe you should not go for
Yeah.
you should go for the student renewal, but also for the residence permit.
For the residency permit, and it will be great if we apply it before the expiration, because if not, for sure you have to do the renewal, student renewal, which is recommendable, okay? But in order to be able to switch, if you do it before the expiration, it's even better to switch to the researcher visa, which is, as Juan says, is a residency, which includes a work permit, okay? So you will be able to work at the same time if you want to get any other job, and family members are included. I don't know if you are married or not, but family members are included with a work permit. So it's a very PhD students warn. It's much better to have a researcher visa that they give it to you if you are studying a PhD than a normal student permit. Both are fine, huh? But the researcher permit is better. It's a residency which counts toward the long-term residency or towards nationality. You can work. You are gaining more rights after a year, as Juan said. So it's much better. Because Juan, one question: when you say that is usual that they don't match the NIE with the date, what do? You go through SARA, or what do you do?
Exactly. You go through the other platform. You go through SARA.
Okay. So, well, we can do it for you both things if you need it, but if not, go to SARA, and we recommend to do also the researcher visa. Okay, Raquel Mohamed Ebeid. Hi, Esterna. I knew that one first renewal of the non-lucrative visa is required to stay inside Spain for a period more than 6 months during the first year. It is then renewed for further 2 years. My question is, the second renewal, the requirement is still the same to be living more than 6 months a year? Thanks. Yes. And it's not only for non-lucrative visas, okay? Are for any kind of residencies except the investors ones, okay? What we call the golden visas. But for all the others, you need to be 6 months per year in Spain, even for the renewal. You will just be allowed to be outside more when you get the long-term residency. That is why we advise you at 5 years or less. if you are applying for the European Union long-term residency as you've been a student before. But if you haven't been a student before, after 5 years, apply for the long-term residency, and you will be able to be outside for a year. And even if you are longer than a year, it's not really that you lose the residency, because you will always be able to get again this status. Imagine that you go to your home country or for whatever country for 5 years or 10 years, and then you decide to come back. If you were entitled of the long-term residency or the European Union long-term residency, you will be able to show that you were entitled to that, submit criminal records and medical certificate again, and come again, including with a work permit. So it's very good if you are even thinking to leave the country, if you can, to wait until getting the long-term residency, because it will be like an open door for the whole life to Spain. So for this question, yes, while you have the first renewal or the second renewal of the non-lucrative visa, maximum to be outside 6 months per year. But after that, you will be able to apply for the long-term residency. But be careful, because in order to apply for the long-term residency, there is a maximum of 10 months of being outside in the last 5 years. So be careful of that, because that is a strategy that if you get the average, is being outside 2 months per year, okay? So be careful if you want the long-term residency, and good luck with everything. Okay, Suhel Reddy says, I am from India and I have 5-year residency permits, which will expire in April. When shall I do the renewal, and what documents do I require for the application? Thanks. If I have 5-year residency, from pareja de hecho, okay. If it's pareja de hecho, what you have is a familiar comunitario, okay? And you need to apply for the permanent one. It's familiar de comunitario permanente. You can apply from a month before, okay? We can do it now telematic, so we can do it for you if you need it, and it's much better to do it remotely because there are no appointments, very, very, very few appointments. So it's much better to do it remotely, and what you need is to show an actualized certificate of pareja de hecho, so something that is the document, you get it, a new one from maximum 3 months, okay? Showing that you still be pareja de hecho, or that at least you've been 3 years, okay, together. Even if you have split, if you have a split after 3 years, you will be able to apply for this permanente, okay? But if you are together, you apply for the document that shows that the pareja de hecho is still valid. You submit also empadronamiento conjunto, so the empadronamiento, the registration of the address with you both. You submit financial means. It could be your couple working, it could be savings, it could be you working. The law doesn't say, it always they always talk about the European Union citizen financial means. But it's true that with the crisis and with everything, they are some kind of flexible. So if in this case your couple is not working, but you are working, you can show that, and I think that it should be fine. If you are not working, or your partner couple is not working, you need a private insurance, okay? It's important that. And that will be all. 1 month before, as I said, you apply it, and that is the procedure. Good luck, and we are here to help you if you need so. Can Americans travel to Spain? Juan, you were talking in the beginning about that, but let's do a little summary of that.
Yeah, it's not by nationality. The criteria is not national from one country. The criteria is residents from the countries that are not on the list cannot travel to Spain as a tourist right now. Okay, so it's not that you're an American. For example, if you were an American living in Uruguay or in any country that you have a residence permit and that country is on the list, you can travel to Spain. Okay, even as a tourist, matching, of course, the requirements from the health authorities. But if you live in the United States and you are not a resident in the European Union or a European Union citizen, then you will not be able to come as a tourist. That doesn't mean that you are not able to get a visa to come to Spain either as a non-lucrative with a non-lucrative permit, with a student permit, or with any other permit that you have or that you can get on the consulates. Okay, so remember, it's not the nationality itself, but the residence that you have. So if you are right now living in the United States, you cannot come as a tourist, but you can apply for a visa permit.
Or an exception, okay? So of course we can apply for non-lucrative or whatever visa, even if you don't want to really live here, but it's a good tool or a good trick to be able to come to Europe. The non-lucrative visa is something that we are applying for a lot of people that wanted to come as a tourist and they have the financial means and they are okay to apply for this, so they are free to come to Spain and travel through Europe. But there are also exceptions. Exceptions as the ones that we do the most are the meetings for highly qualified workers that needs to come here for a meeting that can't be postponed or done remotely. So it's not easy to show that to the consulate. They are tough with that. But in any case, for those that are listening to this, if you really need to come to close a business, to something that is related to your activity, what you are doing, and we can show that to the consulate, you can get a permit to enter. Okay, so we always have those two exceptions or those two possibilities, or getting a residency or getting that exception, or waiting because at any point it will be open, but we don't know until when there will be these restrictions. They are keeping renewing the ban for tourists, and we don't know, maybe I think in the spring they will open it, but I don't know.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, because the vaccine will be ready. So, okay, Alex says, good afternoon. I'm sure this question was asked several times, so do I apologize, but I think can change at any minute, like it did in Germany a few days ago. I am from the US and I'm going home for the holidays. My layover is in Germany. I already have my TA in hand. Will I have any problem leaving and or entering Spain? I know I need to provide a PCR result upon my arrival, yes, but are there any other documents that I need, or is my TA more than enough? My layover also returning to Spain is in Germany. So I'm confused as to whom I have provide the PRC test result. Thank you. I don't understand what is my layover. Do you, Juan?
I don't actually. I'm searching my layover.
Oh.
Uh,
But in any case, let's Raquel tell us what is layover. Escala.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, in order to come back, don't worry. You need the PCR. It's true of the 72 hours that you said. You need also your valid NIE, and it's perfectly fine if your valid is NIE or you are renewing. You know that it's better if you get an autorización de regreso for those that are renewing. But even if you are not, you don't have an autorización de regreso, which is usual because there are not a lot of appointments. If you show that you are doing the renewal, or even that it's been approved, I recommend you also to take all the documents with you, that you are enrolled correctly in a course, that you have the financial means, like everything that you submitted in the renewal, even if it's renewed. I recommend you get a package with you, and just in case there are problems, you show everything. But in this case, that his NIE was valid, you will be perfectly fine. If you can get the empadronamiento with you, it's always fun to take the empadronamiento with you, your valid NIE and your PCR, and you are perfect with that.
I'm also putting some links here. For example, you have to get your QR code from Health Spain. So you visit that website, you will just answer a questionnaire, and then you will get a QR code that the Spanish police will scan once you are here in Spain. So get that from here, from this website that we are putting here, and also to know the requirements from Germany, for example, you have this other place, but they allow transits as long as your final destination is Spain. They allow you to transit, okay? But on this website, everyone can check all the requirements from every European Union country. They are trying to do the same requirements to everyone, but just to be sure, check here, and remember also to get this, the QR code.
Okay, very good. So that is mandatory, Juan.
Yes, that's something that you must have. Okay, the QR code, they will ask you for it.
Okay, so
It's just a questionnaire. So you answer, have you had fever? Have you had in contact? Just a questionnaire, and you get the QR code.
okay, thank you very much, Juan. If you can share it with Raquel, she will post it for everyone. Okay, are there any other questions? Lauren, can I apply for a student job seeker visa and be renewed as a public school auxiliary at the same time? Yes, but the student job seeker is because you have finished a degree or master's degree. So if you have finished that, yes, but you will have to choose what you want. So you want to do a renewal of a student as an auxiliar de conversación, which is not really a renewal, because if you are changing from degree or master's degree to an auxiliar de conversación, is a new student permit, okay? So it's recommendable. It's true that in immigration they mix them, and sometimes it goes through as a renewal. But really, if they are thorough and they check it correctly, there are new studies, because this is new. It's an auxiliar de conversación program if you just finish a degree or master's degree. So we recommend you to do it a month before expiration, okay? In any case, I always say that the same way that you can do the auxiliar de conversación program as a student, okay, because it's not really a work, you should be able to do it with the búsqueda de empleo permit, okay? Because the auxiliar de conversación is something, is a kind of job in which you are not enrolled in you are not enrolled in Social Security, so they allow you to do that job as a student. So they should be able to do, you should be able to do it as a non-lucrative, and you should be able to do it as a búsqueda de empleo. It's not something very clear, okay? It's these things that we as lawyers study really the law and see options. So if we need to defend that for you, we will be pleased to do it, okay? So good luck. Jamie says, hello, I'm just moved to Spain from UK, but I can't get a padrón appointment. I have sufficient funds, private health insurance. Should I submit my NIET application and correct with Padrón next month? Yes, I think so. What do you think, Juan?
Yes, he should submit the application before the 31st of December with everything she can, and then, if requested, then add the Padrón certificate, because they are going to ask for it, okay? This is one of the main requirements. You have to show that you live here. And to show that you live here, you need to provide the Padrón certificate. Therefore, if you don't get any appointments to get that done, submit the application, and then they will issue a requirement, and you will have 10 working days to add up the Padrón certificate. So work on getting that appointment. We are also actually trying to get some submissions from some new clients in UK, and are struggling to get an appointment for the padron. But I think that we will get one tomorrow.
Okay, I don't know if we are. Okay, I am Venezuela living in the US. Next year, I'm going to Spain for studies. I'm taking my kids with me, 8 and 5. What legal documentation do I need from their dad who's staying in the US? Well, or the custody, okay? Or if you haven't been divorced, it's just that you are coming by your own, just a power of attorney of the dad saying that he's okay with the children coming with you to Spain. You know that you can do the power of attorney at the Spanish consulate in the US, or you can go to any notary in the US and get that document apostilled and translated. Okay, Remember that normally when you come to study, you usually think in the student permit, but I always advise you that depending on your situation, maybe it's better to get the non-lucrative visa, okay, and not the student one. It's true that for the non-lucrative visa, you need more savings. You need 30 for you plus 10 plus every family member. So for you three, you will need 50,000 euros. But if you have them, it is better to get the non-lucrative because you will be able to change jobs. You will be able to start counting for your residency. So after 2 years, you will be able to, because you are from Venezuela, so after 2 years, you will be able to apply for the Spanish passport and your children too, which this will not be the same if you are a student. The student permit doesn't count towards the Spanish nationality. It is true that you need those savings. If you don't have those savings, for a student is much less money. What they ask is like 700. So in the end, for three of you, they will ask like 14,000 euros for the three of you as a student. So is 50,000 versus 14,000. So it's true that it's a lot different. But I mean that if you have the possibility, because the savings you don't have to spend them or leave them blocked in an account. It's just showing that you have them. So just for you to know the difference, a lot of people think that because they come to study, they need to apply for a student visa, and that is not so. You can study with a non-lucrative, or you can study with a work permit if you are working at the same time. So you just need to have a valid residency. And I think it's good for you to know it and then decide which is the best option for you. Okay, I don't know if we have, we answer. Once I have a type of residency, can I sponsor my sister to come to live with me in Spain? No, you cannot sponsor your sister. So your sister will need to have their way. You know that there are a lot of ways in Spain, okay? If you are a highly qualified worker, you need an offer, but you get the permit in 20 days, but you need an offer of 30,000 euros at least, 40,000 euros at least. If you are 30 years old, 30,000 euros. Or your sister can come with a non-lucrative visa and after a year change to a work permit. Or if your sister has a degree or master's degree in the last 2 years and she gets a job offer, but with very, very, very normal salary, 70% of the minimum salary, will be okay to get a residencia de práctica. So there are many, many, many options. There are very few for sisters and brothers, okay? Even if you are Spanish and you want to bring your brother or your sister, is very, very difficult, but there are a lot of other ways to get a residency and be here together, okay? So good luck, and we can do a consultation and let's see and try to study which will be the best option for your sister. Jamie says, thank you for your help. Do you think I will be able to return to Spain with a padron appointment and rental contract, given the new travel restrictions, please. I have to return to the UK for Christmas. Okay, this they ask me a lot. I think so. Juan, what do you think if someone has started the procedure for the UK permit, if they will be able to come back for the second step? I think so. I think
Yeah,
that.
as long as she submits the application and she has the screenshot stating that is on trámite, I think that she will be able to come back to Spain without any trouble because she applied on time. She has shown that she has the appointment for that. But I mean, after the last day of this year, we are not sure of what is going to happen. But I think that if they make the same requirements as they treat the other third nationals from other countries, then he will be able to come to Spain, showing that the immigration procedure is on trámite.
Exactly. Exactly. So good luck, but I think that yes, that you can do it. If you need help to finish this procedure with us, let us know. Okay. Okay, Juan, if you can just send to Raquel the link with this special form that they need to yes, that one. And well, that's all. Thank you to all to be here with us, asking and also listening to us. It's a pleasure, like always. Juan, thank you very much to be here.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
One
you,
more
everyone.
hour that I appreciate your efforts to share with everyone after the day that is always you are tired and you give this extra hour to share with everyone. So thank you very much. And for Raquel, that she's always here with us, and also yesterday with the Spanish live. So well, keep asking questions because we will be answering next week. So don't wait until the last minute. You can be posting questions, and we will be answering in the next live. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye.